Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good.
I want to ask you. We all know that you are the art fair directors for Art Jakarta. It's well famous in the art world, and everybody knows you for that. But in real life, who you wish that we all see you as, besides as art fair director?
Wow. What a tough question. See me as you mean from the art world?
Yeah, from the art world or from your personal point of view, who you want to be, basically.
I hope people can see that I'm an art enthusiast, and for sure, I think I hope to be seen also as a philanthropist who has been trying a lot to do and contribute to the art scene, especially for Indonesia. So I started collecting in 2007, right? And so in 2011, I started this foundation called Indo Art Now.
Yeah.
And Indo Art Now is a foundation which we kind of archive all the Indonesian contemporary exhibitions everywhere in the world, virtually online, and it's free for everyone to check out on the exhibition.
Mm.
And then Indo Art Now, we also did a lot of videos where we profile all the artists, Indonesian contemporary artists, so that it could reach out more to the mass, to the public, so that they can know and can understand more about contemporary art.
Mm.
So I see myself as a small philanthropist who help to contribute in the art scene.
Mm.
And that's before my art fair life. And then 2014, I started to work in the art fair.
Mm.
And then 2018, I started to work for Art Jakarta
Mm.
and started as a fair director. So hopefully people can see me as a philanthropist, an art enthusiast, someone who always contribute to the art scene,
Mm.
and not just someone who is working in the art scene or yeah.
So, as I know that you are very successful business man before you joining the art world, so I wonder that why you give up that and to dive into the art world.
Um, it's because I think I was helping my family to run this automotive business for already 13 years. And in 2014, when I worked for another fair, I was given this opportunity. I thought I have been already in the art scene for a while as a collector, and also has been contributing as a foundation owner. And I thought maybe I can do something more since art has contributed a lot to my life.
Mm.
Um, for me, art is something very important because it changed the way I see or value life. I always like to tell people that it's like in the movie Matrix, where uh, someone is given Keanu Reeves is being given this blue and red pill, right? And
Mm.
he has to choose whether he wants to go back to reality or he wants to go back to the dream that was given. So I feel like art, contemporary art especially, is like one of the pill that shows the reality of life, and it helps us to see the different perspective of what life can bring us.
Mm.
And so for me, I think art contribute a lot to my life and changed the way I think. Before this, I'm a person who is very into materialism, and I understand all these big brands and all this. I must have all the best car, the best watch, and I thought through art, I learned to understand more the values of a lot of other things, especially for life. So in 2014, when I'm given this chance to work in a fair, I thought it was quite a good chance for me to do something I'm passionate about and not uh, just working for automotive industry, which my passion wasn't really there. It was more of it because of the family. So I decided to jump into the art scene.
So, is it this is also the reason why you start to collecting artwork? Because I know that you collecting artwork first and then you go into the art fair. So which actually come first? Because they are a little bit different, isn't it? It's one is been seen as the business and the other one is like really art lover.
So when I first started collecting in 2007, it was really pure accidental. So it was because my sister-in-law, who is also an art collector, um, she asked me to come to an exhibition that she was hosting, and I decided to go. And from there, uh, I met artists, I met her, and she sort of influenced me to start collecting.
Mm.
Of course, when I first starting to collect art, art is it was actually quite a more of an investment kind for me, because at the time I was quite surprised that the artworks that I buy within few months it actually raised in price, and it could be double or triple the price that I bought. And I thought this is the best business ever in the world, you know. So I thought,
Really?
what is going on? Yeah, I really don't understand. Hey, what's going on? So I decided to find out more. So I started hanging out with a lot of different collectors. I started to hang out more with the artists, and then actually from collectors, some of my uh, collectors, senior collectors who taught me of we should hang out more with curators. With curators spend a lot of time with artists, so they tend to understand artists more. So I hang out a lot with these curators, and then from the curators, asked me to hang out with the artists, and I start hanging out with them. So my first 3 years from 2007 to 2010, it was a lot of like meeting people, a lot of artists, a lot of curators, and learning more about art, understanding what the art is all about. And within that 4 years, actually, it changed the way I view art. And art is no longer investment for me, but it's more about understanding the value of art. And yeah, so I started to understand more about art from there. Um, in 2014, when I helped the fair to work, it was more of an opportunity that comes, and because I think a lot of people also who knows Indo Art Now as a foundation has been really supportive of us, and so people recommend me to work in the fair, and so when the opportunity comes, I thought it was a good opportunity. So and I think I can contribute a lot too in a fair, because as a fair, even though it's a commercial entity, but it's actually bigger than just collecting.
Mm.
I realize that a lot of Indonesian collectors are very different from other countries' collectors, that a lot of Indonesian collectors are very active. They are not only just about collecting or buying works, but they also have to, a lot of them actually also contribute, like uh, supporting projects, or doing exhibition, support artists to go residency overseas.
Mm.
So I learned from there, and I thought, yeah, I should also contribute more. And I think art fair is a very good platform for me.
Yes,
So I
and
do.
you did a lot for last year. Even it's the first Art Jakarta's fair in Indonesia's last year. So
Mm,
Tom, what do
mm.
you collect right now? Are you collecting on the Indonesian artists or Southeast Asia or international?
Actually, I collect mostly Asian artists. So the reason is because the way I collect is very different from most of the people. I usually don't collect artists if I don't know the artist. Some collectors
You mean
think
like
that,
you collect the artists that you know in person?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I always know the artist in person, or at least I have met him once, or we have a very good conversation once. And so, if you see my collection before, I collect most of them in depth. So I never collect them as a one work. So I always collect them as at least 10 works of them. And the reason is because for me, collecting is not about collecting an artwork. Collecting is more about collecting an art practice.
Mm.
So an artist will have an artist practice. So they will believe in something, and they want to convey, or they want to share to the world. And usually I tend to find out this artist practice through hanging out with the artists, spend time with them, find out what do they want to change in this world, what do they want to contribute in this world. And I find out from them by hanging out with them. You know, artists sometimes they don't talk because they're very visual. So, but if you drink with them, you have fun with them, and then as friends, conversation starts to get deeper, and I get to know more about them. And so when I started to collect an artist, I will always collect not only one, I will go after their new works, but also their previous works. So I like this treasure hunt that goes back to their old works. But at the same time, I also like to look for their new works so that I have a more complete set of the collection of the artist's works. So for me, collecting is really not about collecting an artwork. An artwork is just an artifact of the artist. But for me, it's more important is collecting the artist practice and to support this practice. I think that's more important.
Do you have any plannings like near futures you're going to exhibit your collections?
In 2016, my collection was being exhibited in Korea, and there's a space called Songwon Art Space. So Songwon Art Space is a very prestigious Korean space in Seoul, and they have a lot of very good exhibitions, and they did a collection show for me. So I think I showed about 48 to 55, I think, artworks inside there, videos and everything. So that's actually my first experience of exhibiting my own collection. And so far, I don't have any invitation for another show, but who knows, maybe MoMA.
Yes, I'm really looking forward for your collection show because I think a lot of people didn't really, after you become a fair director, we not really know that you are such a good, big collectors and good collectors. So I just really wanted to see what is inside and dig more into it.
It's a very small collection. It's not.
Okay, so you are in the art world for such long, and right now with this pandemic, what do you see next upcoming 3 years will be for the art world?
You know, it's funny. In the art world, we always believe that people will always want to look at the real work before they buy, or they need to see the real work to enjoy the work. We have always hold on to this principle. But I think this time, this COVID situation forced all of us to change our mindset. Look at us now. Now we're doing an interview online with a video like this. In the past, I don't think I would do an interview like this. I would do an interview in person, and it should be a video recorded, right? So it's that we really changed. Our whole habit has changed. And I think just like in the past, when the retail business started online, and you know, we used to always believe that you will never buy a shirt before you try it on.
Correct.
But now, no, you always buy it even without trying, right? So it's just a whole mindset, and I think this COVID situation changed the whole art world by changing the mindset. And I think there'll be more and more virtual exhibition, more and more virtual fair, more and more virtual. All this online thing is going to be very strong. And even though we still need this human touch, we still need this interaction in the art world, which means I really believe art fair will continue. Art fair has not only just to show work, but also the whole interaction and the whole meeting up with all the people and the friends that you know, exchange ideas of art. I think it's very important, and I think it will stay on. For a gallery to do an exhibition, to let people come and chat, I think it's still going to be important. But there will be a new additional factor where everybody will still continue to push for this online virtual thing, which means when a gallery such as Vin Gallery do an exhibition, you still invite people to come to your show. But at the same time, I think you will do a virtual or online exhibition of the same exhibition to show people who cannot come to the exhibition. And I think it's going to be a common practice, in my opinion. Just like an art fair, I think art fair is the same thing too. Well, we will still continue to have the art fair. People will still come. But people who cannot travel to see the fair, I think all the fair organizers will prepare an online version for these people who cannot come to see these works. So the next 3 years, a lot of people will be investing in technology. A lot of people will be changing their habit. A lot of collectors will also start buying works without looking at even now, there are also a lot of people who buy works without looking, but in the future, it will be even more. Yeah.
Yeah, lastly, Tom, do you have anything to say to the art community at this moment?
I miss everyone. I do.
We miss you too.
I miss everyone. I tell you, really, really, really. I'm a very extrovert person. I like to go out and I don't like to stay home. And even with I'm with my kids, I'm always going out with them. I bring them to see movies, or I go out to have food, or have fun. I bring them traveling all the time. And for me, my work itself is also always traveling. I mean, for this I arrived in Jakarta on the 2nd of February, and since then, which is almost 3 months, I've been in Indonesia. So I've not taken any flights.
I know.
It's very weird for me, very weird. And also at the same time, especially all of us who are people who goes to the fair goers, we always see each other, we always have fun, we always, go drinking and chatting and having fun, and suddenly it's all gone. So I miss everyone.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to let me to interview you. I hope to see you soon, really, really soon.